She said, "We're already married." But a week later, she asked for rent. Emotional English story. When I asked about the date of my son's wedding, my daughter-in-law said, "We got married yesterday just for special people." Her words were soft, but they carried a heavy meaning that I could not ignore. I sat there, holding the phone, feeling a silence spread inside me like a storm without sound. I thought she was joking, maybe teasing me, but she was not laughing. Her voice was calm and distant, like someone who had already closed a door. No family, no friends, no ceremony, no blessing. Only a quiet message that broke many dreams. I wanted to ask why, when, how, but the words refused to come out. I smiled instead, pretending to understand, pretending that everything was fine. I said to her, "I hope you are happy." And she said, "Yes, we are." And then the call ended, but the echo of her words kept returning inside my heart. We got married yesterday just for special people. I sat in the old living room where his childhood pictures were still hanging on the wall. I looked at the photo where he was 5 years old holding my hand at the school gate. I remembered how he once said one day, "Mom, I will make you proud." And now that day had come quietly, without a sound, without a smile, without me. The air in the house felt heavier that night, as if even the walls had questions to ask. I walked to his room. His bed still made his books still open, the same way he left them. Everything looked the same, but nothing felt the same. It was like someone had changed the story of my life while I was asleep. I wanted to cry, but no tears came, only a deep feeling of distance between me and the world. I sat by the window, watching the streetlights glow outside, thinking about how quickly life changes. One day you plan everything. The next day it is already done without you. I thought, maybe this is how love works now, maybe. They wanted to be modern or private or free, but still a small voice inside me whispered, "Something is missing." I remembered the way he used to call me every morning, asking what to eat, what to wear, how to start his day. Now even his number on my phone felt like a stranger. Every sound in the house became a reminder of the silence that followed her words. I kept repeating them in my mind. We got married yesterday just for special people. Who were those special people? Why was I not one of them? I had raised him, cared for him, watched him fall and rise again. And now, when the biggest day of his life came, I was only an extra in his story. That night, I could not sleep. I kept walking from room to room, listening to the ticking clock. Each tick felt like a question that had no answer. I looked at the empty dining table where we once shared every meal. His chair stood there untouched, waiting for laughter that never came back. I whispered to myself, maybe tomorrow he will call. Maybe he will tell me everything. But tomorrow came and went quietly without a message, without a visit. Days passed like that, slow and heavy, each one carrying the same silence. And then one morning, my phone rang again. The name on the screen was hers again, the same daughter-in-law who had said, "We got married yesterday, just for special people." My heart felt a strange mix of hope and fear. Maybe she wanted to talk, maybe to share something warm, maybe to start again. I answered the call slowly, not knowing what to expect. Her voice was polite and calm, the same tone, but colder this time. She said, "I wanted to remind you the rent is due. Did you transfer it?" For a moment, I forgot how to breathe. For a moment, I forgot how to breathe when I heard her voice again, the same calm tone, but this time the words carried a cold distance that felt like winter on my skin. I stood there holding the phone, and the silence between us grew heavier with every second. "Rent," she said. "Did you transfer it? The rent is overdue." Her voice sounded normal, as if nothing strange had happened, as if we were just people doing business. My mind drifted back to her first call, the day she told me they were married. Yesterday, she said, "just for special people." And now, a week later, the same voice was asking about rent. It felt like a dream that had lost its meaning halfway through. I wanted to ask her how she could say those words without feeling their weight. But I knew that if I spoke, my voice would break into 1,000 pieces. So I stood there, quiet and tired. Inside my heart, a small storm began to rise. I thought about all the years I had worked to build this home. Every wall, every chair, every corner carried a memory of my son. And now those memories were being counted as rent. She waited for my answer, maybe expecting I would just say yes and send the money. But something inside me refused to move, refused to obey. I took a slow breath and said softly, "Didn't I tell you?" There was a pause on the other side. I could almost hear her confusion. She asked, "Tell me what?" I closed my eyes and saw all the days I had lived, the sacrifices, the laughter, the tears, the meals shared, the lessons given, all of it without a price, without a bill. And then I said, "Love has no rent. Family has no bill. Relationships have no due date." She did not reply for a long moment. The silence that followed was heavier than any word we had ever spoken. Maybe she understood. Maybe she did not. Maybe she thought I was just an old man lost in his own memories. But I knew what I said came from the deepest part of my heart. I remembered the day my son was born, how small his fingers were, how he held my thumb and refused to let go. I remembered how he ran to me with his school results, proud and smiling. I remembered how he cried the first time he failed, and how I told him failure only means you tried. And now that same child was grown up living with someone who called herself family, but spoke like a stranger. I felt no anger, only a deep tiredness, the kind that comes when you realize love has become a number in someone else's account. She finally said, "I understand," and then the call ended quietly. I sat down near the window.